Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniX TCG, and today we have even more black spoilers. Yes, it seems like the spoiler season is a lot longer, and that is admittedly because they are doing 2 a day. However, we are going to have a lot of fun with this one because they are seeming to go fairly, not wonky, but just out of the norm with these. Normally we see gimmicks in green, the G's for gimmick, but it looks like right now we are starting to see an out there mechanic or theme that isn't full gimmick. So I'm actually very excited to see what the rest of this set holds. With that being said, I just want to go into the norm. If you like this kind of content, think about going down, liking the video, commenting so it trends, and subscribing if you already haven't subscribed. We do a lot of stuff here, TCG related, both Dragon Ball as well as One Piece, soon to be Battle Spirits. So I just want you guys to strap in because 2023 is going to be this channel's biggest year yet. And with that all being said, the last thing I just want to say is if you like One Piece, not only do we do the TCG content here, but we're actually going to start streaming One Piece Odyssey. I actually already did the demo and it was really fun. I'm going to edit that into a video soon enough on my 3rd channel. But yeah, we'll be doing that. Starting Friday at noon, I'll have the link down in the description to my Twitch, and I will see you guys hopefully there. So let's jump on over, start talking about these new Cumber cards. So the first one we got actually here is SS4 Son Goku Otherworldly Infiltrator. This guy is an overall 5 critical. When this card is played, draw 1 card. Lots of controversy going on about this one because some people say it's the brand new generic Overrealm. Some people are saying that your Overrealm either needs to be removal, such as like Banisher Fu, or it needs to close out the games. Such as like a double striker, or just something like that, or a dual attacker with high stats, or maybe even a little bit of both, such as the Broly Berserker one, or not the Berserker, I forgot his name, but he came out last set or 2 sets ago. Might have been the last set. No, I think it's 2 sets ago. It's 2 sets ago. And he basically comes down for 30k, warps something, and then he just is able to swing for his 30k. But the fact of the matter is, this guy is a 20k critical. He's free. So with the help of a single Champa, he's swinging for double strike critical. And when this card is played, you get to draw 1 card. While I think his stats are a little too low to be the game ender card, I think it's very important to know that 5 is a very easy overall number. Drawing 1 is cool because he cantrips, and critical is one of the most powerful keywords in the entire game. Anytime critical connects, you just feel worse for playing against it. So the fact that this guy can just take a life off of your opponent, and then he can also just draw 1 card, I think he's actually just more of a mid-game piece. If you guys don't remember, when I won Gen Con with Gohan, I ran 2 fighting against Fates at a time where most people thought you could only run 1. And it was just because comboing with Gohan over and over again, I could make easily a mid-game fighting against Fate for pressure, and then an in-game fighting against Fate for game. So I think that this guy, especially in black decks, should be able to fit the same role. Can you imagine having a Champa in hand and you swing with this guy, your opponent's at 6 life, and you just swing with them, or swing with this guy before your opponent can hit things like their 5 drop or their 5 life blocker negate. You bring them down from 6 to 4 using a Champa or any other double striking mechanic that you can think of that I might be slipping at the moment. And then you drew a card doing that. And that's actually just really crazy. The fact that you can just be like, all right, well, bet. I'm going to play this card, I'm going to draw a card, I'm going to swing Champa for 30k, maybe put something else over it if I want a little higher, and you're going to add stuff to Z energy regardless, and then you just chunk them down from 6 to 4. And in the deck like Cumber, we were already talking. This deck has the ability to take you from 4 to nothing very easily, and if that's the case, that's wild. Using this on 1 turn to bring your opponent from 6 to 4, and then next turn, if you have the secret rare, you're just literally you're playing the Vegito, screwing them over me on the counter, you're warping something off their board, then you're playing Cumber, and you're taking their life from 4 to 3, getting another swinger, and bringing them down to 3. Then you are playing, the SR Cumber and potentially swinging for a triple strike when they can't counter. That's actually a really powerful move, and you didn't give them 2 of those cards if you use Champa on this card. So I think that this card is actually very strong, and I don't think it should be estimated. Sorry, I spent a lot of time under it, but I just know a lot of people have been talking about this one. So moving on to the following card, we got my Ace in the Hole. And this one's worded very weirdly. Again, lots of people have been kind of a little odded out on these effects. But you got my Ace in the Hole. Auto, when this card is played, add up to 1 SSB Vegito, Supreme Gleaming, from your deck to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Okay, then you've got the Activate Main Limit 1. If your leader card is an Evil, Saiyan, or Cumber card, both black. Draw 1 card and play this card from your hand in your opponent's battle area. These things are actually pretty cool. So what we've got here is a card that does 2 different things. You can get both of these effects at any given moment, but you can choose one or the other. You can play this for 1, and you can just search an SSB Vegito Supreme Gleaming to your hand. This is actually crazy because the Trunks also searches the Mai. And the thing that we're going to be able to do with this is, let me actually go back to that Trunks just to check his effect, right? That Trunks, let's see, look at the top 5 cards so you can search Mai. So it's not a hard search on Mai, but you can at least pick up Mai. The funny thing about this Mai is at any point you can pay 1 to search Vegito and then turn off your opponent's abilities to counter 8-drop Cumbers, and that's a huge thing. That being said, you can also for free give it to your opponent and you draw a card and you play this to your opponent's battle area. So you're going to cantrip. The funny thing is, if you have, your leader and food, you can then give this Awaken, or give this Servant, and then use Fu's Overlord to put this at the bottom of your deck and draw 1, making this a +1 interaction. And yes, you definitely use 3 effects to get there. You use Mai's effect, use your leader's effect, or another effect to give it Servant, and then you used Fu's effect to Overlord it back. But at the same time, a +2 is a +2, and none of those things really cost you anything. They were just activate mains on cards you already had out. So I think that's actually a really, really, really cool thing. The last thing that's pretty funny, though, is if you can't use this card on your opponent. You literally can't. Because, if you're playing the mirror match. Because if you're playing the mirror match and you play this card to your opponent's field, you will get the draw. But they will get the auto, and they'll just search SSB Vegito Supreme Gleaming. So you cannot use this versus the mirror. It's just not a good idea. So that's very interesting. More consistency, but it's essentially just a 5k combo if you face the mirror. Or searching your own Vegito. The next card, this one's very, very juicy. We got Fu Scheming Overlord. That's on the nose, Scheming Overlord. Critical, that's big. Critical on a 20k body. This deck already has 2 very good critical options. Overlord once per turn, okay. Auto, when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's non-black battle cards and an energy cost of 3 or less and gain control of it. Activate main black if your leader is a black Cumber card and your opponent has 2 or more energy or battle cards in play this card from your hand. Okay, funny thing about this, you cannot use this on your unawakened side because your unawakened side is an Evil Saiyan. You have to use this on your awakened side. However, your opponent has to have 2 or more energy, so you either need to be in your turn 3 or you need to be going second turn 2. Tapping out is always dangerous though, unless you're at 5 and you have your block and negates, but even them, that could be dangerous. So the funny thing about this is Overlord on another Fu. This is great, and since he's a Fu and Prison Planet will allow him to overlord your opponent's cards, great. The funniest part about this is he's just going to yoink a card regardless. So in this deck, I'm already kind of seeing a trend. If your opponent's not running barrier blockers, they're just not going to have blockers. Like, you have a 2-drop blocker and you're just like, nah, I'm taking this. And it's not you're also going to be able to, it's up to energy cost 3 or less and gain control of it. Yeah, that's kind of wild. A lot of your opponent's blockers that they could have on field right now, unless they're fat, are just going to get yoinked by this card, so you can smack you in the face with critical. The other cool part, this is, I don't see any real downsides about this card. He doesn't have protection, but he is played for 2. He's 20k. He has critical. He has Overlord, and he's going to yoink something small in your opponent's field. I don't see any downsides to this card. I think that if he had something like Barrier or Deflect, he'd be a little too strong. So I like this guy right where he is. This is a very, very powerful card, and I love it for what it does. It's probably going to look great foil, too, and it's always good to see Fu on different cards, Going to the next one. This one's actually really funny. You got Cooler, Evolution's Premonition, Name, Fire, Art, pretty good. Effect, hilarious. Auto, when this card is played, choose up to 1 opponent's Son Goku cards ignoring barrier and send it to the owner's warp. Activate main, limit 1, black. If your leader card is black, play this card in your hand. 15k. So here's the couple things. 1, it doesn't require a Cumber leader. This is a black leader. This card can be main depending on the format. This card can be sided depending on the format. And this card gets rid of a lot. This card is getting rid of, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku SCR for 1 energy if you don't die the turn before, which, to be fair, you probably are. But if it does survive, if you had them on a floodgate they can't get through, yeah, this card is just completely annihilating this. It is crazy the amount that this card does. Your opponent could be playing blue, and if that card, that SSG card from Realm of the Gods, if that ever comes back into play, it's got barrier, triple attack, this card just yeets it. Like, it's actually insane that it's just a Son Goku ignoring barrier. Now, make sure you understand this does not hit Son Goku GT, this does not hit Son Goku Xeno, but this does hit Son Goku, and there's a bunch of cards with Son Goku, and I can only imagine that throughout the future of this game, we're gonna get more and more Ultra Instincts that have barrier, things like that, and this card's just gonna be like, no. Like, just straight up, no. You play the Z Battle card in Universe 7, that Son Goku with barrier, no. Get it out of here. Yeah, I think that this is just a very, very funny card, and it will be a staple side card in black as long as Gokus are in the format. This is just amazing. Mimi, but amazing. Next, we got Evil Aura Overflow. Counterplay. If your leader card is a black Cumber card and you discard 1 card from your hand, if the battle card being played has an energy of 4 cost or less, play it in your battle area instead, and it gains Servant for the game. Now, this is hilarious. This card does a lot. Now, granted, my friend Nick gave a point. We do cheat out a lot of cards, and we may play them for 4 or less, but they are often 4 or more. However, this is going to get a lot of funny things. The funniest thing about this are floodgates, right? This card is going to hurt so many floodgates. Like, can you imagine the Gohan battle card floodgate that you can play after comboing and then pop to get his effect? You could literally just, I'm just gonna counterplay that and take it to my side of the field. Now, not only do you not get your Gohan, but he's actually on my field. Now, I can't play a blue to do it, and I don't have a superhero leader, so that's kind of whack. But at the same time, like, you are taking it. You are taking that. If the floodgate doesn't work in hand, like if the floodgate is attached to an auto, like yes, you play it and you negate the attack, but then auto it does this, what's going to happen is they're going to play their energy, pay their energy to negate the attack. Then you're going to yoink it, and then the auto will go off on your side of the field. They were swinging on you, so it's not like, or you were swinging on them, so it's not like they were swinging on you, but you're going to rob them out of an entire floodgate and potentially have something to swing with next turn. So that is actually absurd. I think that is really funny. Now, this card is a 2 cost, and black is not the most energy efficient, and there's no way for you to go down on the cost of this card, despite it having a really strong effect, so I don't think that would be healthy if you could go down the specified. However, I think this card is yet another good side card for Cumber. There are a lot of matchups that this is going to help in, and it's going to be very, very scary on both your turn for their floodgates and even on their turn. They can play like a 3 cost that enables so many good plays. Like the GT deck has a bunch of small things that can do really big things, and you can just take it and give it Servant and then just look at them like they're stupid. So I like this a lot. And because it's a counterplay that does not choose, you are literally going to be able to circumvent barrier. The only card you need to worry about or effect is deflect. It's not barrier. You will go straight through that. So I think this card is actually pretty cool. Lastly, we got Explosion of Malice. Counterattack. If your leader is a Cumber card, negate the attack, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards. It gains Servant until the end of your next turn. There's a couple things you can do with this, okay? 1, counterattack, and you give something Servant that, wasn't going to swing anyway, but then you're giving it 10k, so it maybe could swing at that point. Or with the card that you just negated, you can give it Servant, and that does a couple things. 1, as long as it doesn't have dual attack or triple attack, it's not going to untap. So you could leave it on their field for 1 more turn, unless, has an EX Evolve or something they can do with it. But you could leave it on the field for 1 more turn, because it won't be able to attack you next turn. Or you could give something else Servant that already attacked, knowing that you want to take it or Overlord it next turn. So I think actually take it. I'm gonna let you Overlord it or combo with it. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So yeah, depending on when in the turn, in the order their attacks you use this, you'll be able to actually get different mileage out of it. And I think that's actually extremely cool. Whether this is going to be used, because it is 1, and you have to, like, black already has a bunch of good 1 cost negates, such as Protector of the People, Petrification. We shall see. But if you were really going full in on the comboing with your opponent's cards with Servant, this is the way. Not to mention, something that's actually funny is you can counterattack. If your leader is Z-Awakened, since it's Activate Battle on that leader, you can counterattack. Give something Servant that has already attacked, and then when they swing on, you can combo with it to have even more combo power on your side. So there's a lot of cool things here. Overall, I think the Cumber archetype is definitely shaping up to be funny. We definitely need to test it, and I'll have the archetype breakdown soon enough. But we're getting more and more cards with Cumber archetype, and I am loving it the more I see it. This looks like, I mean, we have a total of 20 cards for Cumber, and so I think that soon enough we're probably going to stop getting cards. But at the same time, I do think this is a really, really cool archetype, and I am looking forward to being able to play it. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, if you like the content, think about hitting that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about these Cumber cards, and I will be getting the archetype breakdown video soon with little, untapped demo and whatnot. But thank you. I'll see you later. Bye.